Here's a country style candy dispenser I designed in SketchUp. I used a mason jar on the top, although you can use a mayo jar or a coffee jar or anything similar to that that has a lid diameter of about 2 3/4 inches. Just turn the knob and out comes the candy. Now on with the build. First thing I did was cut 6 pieces, 5 9/16 long, 4 9/16 wide. That leaves me an extra 1/16 of an inch to play with. And there's 6 pieces here. I've got them laid out so that the grains are opposite each other. So when I glue them up, it'll give it a little more strength. Okay, I numbered them 1 through 6. Number 5 and number 6, we don't have to do anything to yet. 5 is done. 6, all we'll have to do is route the edges here, round them off, so we can set those two aside. And we're going to be working on these first 4 pieces. First I'll select piece number 4, and all that gets is a little angle cut on it, 2 1/2 inches wide, about a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to do that on a table saw. Okay, on piece number 4, I marked off a line 1 inch in on each side and 1/2 inch down. And what I want to do is cut an angle this way. So what I've done is I raised my saw blade up. I drew a line here of the angle that I want to cut, and if I line it up with the tooth of the blade, the bottom tooth to the top corner will be approximately the right angle. It doesn't matter if it has a little radius on there. I don't care about that. That doesn't affect anything. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put this in here, and I've got my fence set up over here so it'll cut 1 inch from that side, and I've got a stop block over here that'll cut 1 inch from this side. Now all I need to do is line this up so it will feed in the proper distance, and then I'll go ahead and cut this. Now with another stop block on clamped to the fence, I measured a 1/2 inch here, which would give me a 1/2 inch movement into the blade. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, there you go. Right on the edge there and down to the mark. So I'll just go ahead and cut that angled dado in there. Now here's the final result. Nice angle. Very slight radius here, but that doesn't matter. That's not going to hurt anything. I can sand that up later. Okay, and that's piece number 4 is now completed. Alright, for piece number 3, we're going to cut where we left off on number 4, 1/2 inch down, and we're going to come down 1 1/4 inches. So I'll cut this with a table saw, and then these 2 angles here I'll just have to cut them with a handsaw. So that's a difference of 750, so which is a 45-degree angle. So I've done the same thing here. I've lined up the tooth there at the bottom, swing an arc up, raised up the blade or lowered it till I can get that arc in there, even from the top corner down to the mark there. And then I'll go ahead and put this in like this with the deep side down, adjust my stops, and go ahead and cut that. Okay, I've got the slot cut in the number 3 piece. This is where the hole will be drilled. I just have to cut those angles there out. And it lines up pretty good with number 4. You can see that there's a slight radius on both of these, but that isn't going to hurt anything. Okay, the next thing I did was I taped parts numbers 1, 2, and 3 together with double-sided tape, and I'll drill a 1/4 inch hole through. Next, on the number 2 piece, I'll drill a 2.5 inch hole through. Now we'll be using both pieces, the number 2 piece and the 2.5 inch hole slug. Now these holes were drilled central, 2 1/4 inches in on each side, 2 1/4 inches down. Next thing we'll do is on our number 2 piece, measure out 2.5 inches central, 1.5 inches right where it meets the circle. Next we'll cut these 2. I'll use my small parts jig to do that.